Okay, dear students, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome back to the intermediate accounting class. Now, in this video, our discussion is about the single step income statement. Dear students, as you remember, we have two types of income statements, our profit and loss statement. One is called multiple step income statement and the second one is called the single step income statement. So what does single step income statement mean? Before going towards the single step income statement, let's to know about the preliminary things that we should consider while preparing the income statement. Kalachi income statement jodawai, first of all you should write down the name of company. Like for example, I will write down over here ComAir and corporation, or we may say corporation. ComAir is a company. Say, so we will write down Yad Afghanistan Brikhna Shirkat. So this is ComAir, and what we are making, we are preparing income statement. Income statement, or in other words, it's also called P&L statement. P&L, as I mentioned earlier, that we may call it the profit and loss statement. So P&L statement, we may also call it P&L. So now, dear students, you have understand about the two things. First of all, write down name of the company. Second, write down the title, income statement or profit and loss statement. You should use only one term. You may use income statement or you may use the profit and loss statement. Sometimes some of the people will use the statement of operations. So then we should write down the debt. Debt is the definition of income statement is also the same. That we will prepare the it show us the profit and loss of a company for a specified. So profit is over here, loss is over here, and for a company it is ComAir at a specified period of time. So debt is specified period. For example, we will prepare this at December 31st 2019. So this will clearly tell us that this statement has been developed at 31st December 2019. So now we will discuss about the single step income statement. What does single step income statement mean and how we can prepare this single step income statement? So this is the title. Now see the slide. The author explains the case that this statement presents information in broad categories. Here we have information, and this information is in broader concept. So here major section are revenue and expenses. So we have two things in this statement. The first one is called revenue and the second one is called the expenses. So we have over here revenue of the company, and also we have the expenses of the company too. So we will write down both of them. So we have revenue of the company, and second we have also expenses of the company, for the company, the expenses account. So see, this is the expenses account. Okay, now we will underline it, the first and second one. See over here, dear students, this is the revenue account and this is the expenses account. If you remember the previous lecture, over there we have discussed that from revenue we will deduct the expenses. So we will have the net profit or net loss. So over here at the end we will have the net profit or net loss. We will close this with a line, and then at the end here we may have, like for example, I will write down over here net profit, or in other words net loss. Okay, so we may have the net profit or the net loss over here. Okay, very good. And then we will have, like for example, we will find the earning per share. Earning per share is at the end, where we will divide the net profit upon the outstanding shares of the company. So see, dear students, now here this is what the format. We will have the name of company, one thing. Second, we will have the and title of this statement. See, dear students, this is name of the company, Comair. Okay, this is title of the company. Profit and loss statement or income statement. We may use two term, income statement, or we may use the profit and loss statement. And this is the debt row. Here we will mention the debt. These are the title information. When you are preparing the income statement, so you should have these things in your statement. After that, we will have the information about revenue accounts, that what are the revenue accounts in this business. And also we should use the expenses over here, the expenses account of the business. From these revenue and expenses, we will find net profit, or we may find the net loss. And finally, we will divide the net profit on the outstanding shares of the company. So we will have the earning per share over there. This is simple step income statement. So see, dear, this slide, this statement presents information in broader perspective. دلته ټول معلومات چې دی په غټه سطح باندې دي. Here we will only directly reduce the expenses from revenue. دلته چې د expenses نه موږ څه کوو, revenue منفي کوو, یا هغه دوه سیکشن لري چې یو expenses دا او بل د revenue د چې تاسو دلته په سلایډز کې ډیر کلیرلی وکتل چې دا د revenue portion دی او دلته موږ ټول د revenue accounts لیکو. Here we will write down all the accounts of revenue, all those accounts which is having relationship with revenue we will write down over here. And here we will write down all those accounts which is having relationship with the business expenses. And finally we will add the earning per share. I mean, we will have the earning per share account. So here we have the earning per share, and this is in two steps. This has been explained. There is no distinction between operating and non-operating activities. Dear students, as I mentioned earlier, that we may also call it statement of operations. If you remember, I have mentioned that the third name of this statement is statement of operations. Statement of operations. So this statement of operations tell us about the operations of the company. So dear students, here there is no difference between operating activities and between non-operating activities. Now you may ask, what is operating activities and what is non-operating activities? So we will discuss this in the upcoming slide in multiple step income statement. So dear students, we will have the two things, the revenue account, and from this revenue account, see over here, this is the revenue account, and from this revenue account we will deduct the expenses of the business. So when we deduct the expenses, so we will have the net income finally, and this net income will be divided on the outstanding shares. We will have the earning per shares from it. Okay, this is the same as I developed over here in this area, I mean in this this side of the screen. So what are the different accounts in revenue? Revenue may be like, for example, sale account. So see dear students, we may have sale over here, sales, and revenue we may have, like for example, services rendered. Now we will discuss about the revenue factors, the revenue accounts which are sales, services rendered, like for example commission received, and like for example the rent received, and etc. These all are the example of revenue. Now, dear students, we will go towards the expenses account. Within the expenses account, we have like cost of goods sold. We have this we may also have the other, which are called selling and administration cost. Along with this, we have like interest expenses, and we have the expenses. We have the income tax or tax expenses. We have a lot of other types of expenses. So, dear students, what we will do, we will deduct all these expenses that you may looking over here. These are the different types of expenses. So from this revenue, these are the revenue accounts. From all these revenue accounts, we will deduct these expenses accounts. So when we deduct that, so what will be the result? Result will be net profit, or result will be net loss. So if there is net profit, what we will do? We will divide this net profit or outstanding shares of the company. We will divide that. So when we divide this on the outstanding shares of the company, so our result will be earning per share, or we will find the earning per share ratio. So over here you may see that these are the revenue accounts, and from this revenue we will deduct and minimize these expenses. So the result is net income. This net income we will divide over on the outstanding shares, ya haga shares che market ki di the khalqu sara. So the result will be earning per share. Mung sara da earning per share rakai. This is what we may say the single step income statement format ya tariqa kar. So I hope so that you have understand about the single step income statement of the company.